Geek Out! Hey, welcome to another installment of Geek Out, I guess to be determined. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
We're continuing our celebration of the Indiana Jones series with the third entry, which is the last, I guess, of the classic entry. Some would argue, like, I don't acknowledge the fourth one. We'll talk about the fourth one. Yeah, we'll talk about it, but we won't. But not quite yet. We're talking about Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which came out in 1989. What a great fucking year for movies, 1989. Yes. You know, there's, Lethal Weapon 2 and License to Kill and Ghostbusters 2. And
Batman 89. The only one that matters.
Back to the Future Part
I think Part 2 is 89.
It did,
if I remember correctly.
It's fine.
Still a great series.
Yeah, I mentioned Ghostbusters 2, and that's, Anyway, so, yeah, Chris, if I remember correctly, this is also your favorite.
Indeed.
And it's mine, too. Yeah. I've always said from a technical standpoint, Raiders of the Lost Ark, hands down best Indiana Jones movie. But personally, I don't know if it's because I'm watching this father and son kind of like, get spun apart because this important woman in their life, like, dies. And then it's because the movie for me is never about the Holy Grail. It's about Indy and his dad, and it's about them finding their way back to each other.
It's even in the title, The Last Crusade. It's them, crusading, they use the word crusade because of the Holy Grail, but it's like them going on a journey together.
And it's supposed to be the last one.
They literally ride off in the sunset.
Yeah.
It's all right. They had Friday the 13th, the final chapter, and that was part 4?
Yeah.
Out of
But they don't ride off in the
now?
sunset.
Yeah,
correctly.
Yeah. Just like, Dream Warriors was kind of supposed to, even though it has the cliffhanger, supposed to end out. Anyway, we're not here to talk about fucking slasher movies, not at least in detail. But no, there was something, this is the first Indiana Jones film to come out during any of our lifetimes.
True.
So, and it's really, Spielberg said as much. He's like, over the course of the production, I found that I was starting to basically copy Raiders, like pacing-wise, the idea of reusing Nazis, the idea of, all sorts of things. But it's really that father-son dynamic that, for me, elevates the... And they just... Harrison Ford and Sean Connery, even though they're only like 11, 12 years apart, just play off each other so well as father and son. Yeah. That was Sean Connery's big kind of like hesitation to sign back on. He's like, I'm not even like 15 years older than this guy.
You look old as shit.
And
he still looked young as a peach. I don't think that's an actual phrase, but
no,
that's how young he looked.
Everyone always does that, where they're like, Sean Connery doesn't age, Patrick Stewart doesn't age. I'm like, no, they just look old as shit when they were like 30, and they haven't, they've looked the same for like 40 years.
They're like Hulk Hogan. In the 80s, Hulk Hogan looked like he was 60.
Yeah.
Now that he's in his 60s, he still looks like he's 60.
Oh, yeah. So, Sean Connery's got that. And because
probably
he's,
older than that by now.
He's the original James Bond, that that's what really helped spur the whole series in the first place. Yeah. They wanted to grab the guy himself.
Yeah, I mentioned this in the first episode, but in case you don't remember or didn't hear it, Indiana Jones came about because the Lucases and the Spielbergs were taking a family vacation after the success of Jaws and Lucas's own success with the first Star Wars. They're at the beach. Spielberg and George Lucas are making a sandcastle, and Spielberg confesses to George Lucas that he wants to make a direct-to-James Bond movie, and Lucas was just like, I have somebody cooler than James Bond.
Ooh.
And that's how Indiana Jones all came about.
What if in the movie he was like, Jones, Indiana Jones?
They kind of touched on that in Temple of Doom with Short Round, where he's just like, this is Mr. Round and Short Round. But this one, this is just, and for the longest, for starters, it was basically made as Spielberg's apology for Temple of Doom, because they took some shit for that. Mm-hmm. They took, there was a big critical back, even though the film was a success, and we've all on here talked about how much we enjoy it. Yeah. There was definitely a critical kind of backlash towards it, and so they wanted to kind of go out on a high note. And George Lucas's idea was that he would take Indiana Jones to China and see the Monkey King kind of expand on his original plan for Temple of Doom, which was originally supposed to be like Indiana Jones like riding the motorcycle on the Great Wall and everything. Mm-hmm. And then like Tiananmen Square happened, and they're like, well, maybe we won't do something in China. And then they kind of revisited the idea of Indiana Jones taking on a Scottish ghost, which is where you get some of the castle elements for Last Crusade, of Lethal Weapon fame.
And the Phantom fame.
And the Phantom. Probably to replicate the Last Crusade. Spielberg wasn't in the plot device for the MacGuffin for Last Crusade, but Lucas was like, it's not about, like I just did earlier, it's not about the Holy Grail. It's about a father and son. And that's like Spielberg's
bread and butter.
Yeah, he was
It's
like,
also Lucas's bread and butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I
is
was
like that's it.
I was like American Graffiti, THX.
No, those are the two bad examples. Not even examples.
Howard the Duck.
Not even close. Yeah, Red Tails. But yeah, no, the father-son thing, works definitely for Spielberg. Although, Close Encounters is a terrible example of that. But, and then of course, Lucas Star Wars, But of course that hadn't really been seen yet. That hadn't been foreseen in the mythology of Star Wars necessarily yet by the time. Well, no, but no, that's
At
not
that
true.
point,
But that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
the trilogy was done. And we were never going to see Star Wars again. That was it. It ends with, old man Anakin and Yoda and Obi-Wan
Partying in a forest with teddy bear things.
How the fuck did we do this? Looking around like, you guys fucking for real?
Picking their head up out of the mound of coke, like, what?
Yeah.
Man, but for me, I always loved the prologue. I feel like the entire idea of the adventures of young Indiana Jones is basically born from the prologue.
Yeah, you see where he gets the scar on his chin, which I always thought was clever. You see the hat. You see where he gets the inspiration for his outfit.
You see him use a whip for the first time, presumably.
Yeah, presumably because it leads to the chin.
You see the dawn of his fear of snakes.
Yep.
I mean, it's like that. Before that day, was he just the most boring person on the planet? Before that one day? Because his entire character traits are born in that, 1 hour period of his life. You know what I mean? All of it is thrown in there. This belongs in a museum. So do you.
How old must that dude be in 1938?
Yeah, I mean, he's when they show him, he's
a middle-aged man.
He's a middle-aged man, and this one, he's just like the shadows, and you just see a lot of white, and he's like on the cane, and then just fucking drowns or explodes.
I like to think that all those people on the Coronado would have died without Indiana Jones because the big tidal wave knocks over the whatever onto the explosives and they all fucking blow up. So it's not Indiana Jones' fault.
No, but he's a stone cold killer.
What if
any other sense?
When we cut to that though, they're already in a scrapple. Scrapple? Sure.
Scrabble.
Yeah.
Yahtzee.
They're already in fisticuffs.
Yahtzee the Nazi.
What if Indiana Jones getting on that ship, veered them off course into this storm? Because, I mean, we've seen in previous movies, he's constantly just bumping into things that cause, veritable Rube Goldberg machines of things going terrible while he's fighting.
When Indiana Jones shows up, bad shit happens. Now, granted,
That's
happens
in my headcanon that I just made up.
Well, granted, it happens to bad people.
Yeah.
So it's not like he shows up and good people die.
Yeah.
But
the fight scene in Raiders with the fire, catching with her bar.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe he accidentally bumped into the wheel and it veered into this storm. Not that it matters.
No, I mean it's not Indiana Jones' fault. But
in conclusion,
it's not.
In conclusion, Spielberg just thought it would look cool if it was a storm.
Yeah, I mean it works. I love the scene of that transition. That was one of my favorite scenes.
Fedora goes down.
You didn't win today, kid. Doesn't mean you have to like it. It's like, thanks. I'm gonna steal your style.
Yeah, I'm gonna have your hat forever.
Does that mean he respects that guy? Because I mean, when I watched that movie as a kid, I was like, why would Indiana Jones like that guy?
Maybe he keeps it, as
so
a
don't
reminder.
Be that guy.
Yeah,
I guess because watching that
let
scene,
me bring back the prestige of the fedora and the leather jacket and all that stuff.
Because
it was solely just to my
that
perspective.
That guy doesn't at the last second is like, hey kid, don't worry, I'm gonna take it back. He's like, I'm working for this bad man, and they won, but I'm gonna give you a cool line. I've never understood why why that guy, But
again,
whatever.
I think Spielberg just wanted that fake out at the beginning for you to be like, oh, that's not Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Here's young Indiana Jones, and now old Indiana Jones is with the tear in the time continuum, and now there's two Indiana. Yes, that would have been yes. I hope Spielberg doesn't think we're that stupid. But
to be fair, every time I'm watching it, I am not paying enough attention to realize that That's River Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
To realize that River Phoenix is Indiana. I know they like say his name and whatnot, but I'm still just like kind of like, oh hey, look, a young kid. I'm not thinking I need to like prepare and be like, this kid is young Indiana Jones. I'm just sitting there like, oh, this desert landscape is pretty. And then like every time I see that, the not Indiana Jones, I'm like, what's Indiana Oh, right, it's not Indiana Jones. I've seen this movie a dozen times.
So maybe Spielberg just thinks he's that dumb.
Yeah, apparently.
What years?
You got me this time, Spielberg.
What years is supposed to be in the beginning?
It's like 1908.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's like 30 years. He's like in his like late 30s, early 40s.
Oh, wow,
in my detriment, I'm pretty sure it even says as such.
It does. It's like Utah,
Yeah. And then it's like super,
or like 1913. Yeah, it's right before World War One.
His like bumbling friend. Who looks like he's like super out of breath and sweating a lot.
Yeah.
And
like when
the trumpet.
Plays the bugle in his face.
The bugle. Yeah.
Does it say? Do they say who that is?
No, it's just
a friend.
Because I like to believe that's what's his name sticks out like a sore thumb.
Marcus?
The guy that got lost in his own library.
Museum?
Yeah.
Marcus.
Well, Marcus would be like, is his dad's friend.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Marcus would be like,
again, I'm so dumb that I didn't know that was young Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, because like I said,
it'd be more likely.
I want it to be him.
It'd be more likely to be Sala, who's on the other side of the world.
Yeah, and not a overweight white man.
Run.
White child.
Run. Run now.
So yeah, basically, his entire origin is set up in that scene, which is nice. It's a cool. I remember watching it for the first time and being like, "What are we doing here?"
And apparently Harrison Ford handpicked like River Phoenix. Like they gave him a short list, and he's like, he looks like the most like me when I was.
And he's got the charisma down. Like the father son thing is clearly, in Latin or whatever. In the beginning, in the beginning,
I always love the curtain bangs.
Yeah,
he falls down and he has to part his bangs like a fucking sees the lion.
I had those for a little while in high school.
Oh, I think we all
thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, very very pop punk of us, or emo or whatever we were going for at the time. I was going for pop punk.
Pop punk.
Yeah, I was going for very much Tom DeLonge, take off your pants and jacket era.
I couldn't grow that shit, so I didn't do it. I had a mullet. I've
had mullets before.
Because Darren Dalton
singular. I've had a mullet
because Darren Dalton from the Phillies had a mullet.
You didn't have several mullets growing out of your head.
Yeah, they spud off. But
I was never allowed to have a mullet because my dad didn't believe in long hair on men.
Okay.
The bangs were the longest that I could get my hair.
Fair enough. But then we jump into present day Indy,
which is to say like 1938.
Mm-hmm. And it's all about the cross.
Benjamins.
All about the Benjamins. And then, we get to see him back in university.
Yeah, I feel like we get a little more Professor Jones, because when he first gets to like Venice, he's still Professor Jones.
Yeah, you also get, which is kind of cool, the variant of Indiana Jones pop figures, because each film kind of has its Indiana Jones look.
Yeah.
The first one is the classic, of course. The second one is the Rip Jack Doc Savage. And the third, it goes to the classic open collar Raiders look without the gloves, but it has the tie, which I always thought was kind of cool. Like, he looks a little bit more like, this guy can't kick my ass. Oh shit, he just kicked my ass.
Got him.
Yeah. But, it's kind of, the whole, I like the whole Grail setup, pretty cool.
I liked seeing, Julian Glover is the guy that plays Donovan.
Mm-hmm.
He also plays the one of the head AT-AT guy
in Empire.
And he plays Christados in For Your Eyes Only.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, he's all over the place.
So
man.
the 80s, and then he's in Field of Dreams. He's in Game of Thrones up until this most recent season.
Yeah, he also has. We'll just say spoilers, but I'm hoping you've watched this. The worst death of all time that scarred me more than any other death in a movie as a kid. And still to this day, it
more than Melty Face from Raiders.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Because
actually, I will agree with that. Melty Face is just like
it's horrible.
Metal.
It's horrible, but like it's over.
Yeah.
This one, he has to
it's like 5 minutes long.
Experience aging. The idea of aging rapidly, just I don't know why that just fucking terrified me as a kid. What? And like the way it's done, between like the makeup for like the really sunken hollow eyes, to the stop motion with the hair growing and the eyes rolling back, and then that shot of the Nazi pin and
it's
the
only
dust
thing that remains. Yeah,
it's fucking crazy, man.
In Indiana Jones' Greatest Adventures on the Super Nintendo, he's the last boss.
I remember we were playing that, and that game's fucking tough, man.
It is. It's so fucking.
One day we'll sit there
and just
You'll do Star Wars, I'll do Indiana Jones.
Oh god, those are all terribly hard too.
Twitch them.
I got as far as the shield generator on Return of the Jedi. That's as far as I've gotten in any of the Super Star Wars games for Super Nintendo.
But Last Crusade also has Allison Doody.
Oh, Lord, she is attractive. She's like attractive now.
Oh yeah,
and she's like in her 50s.
Yeah,
and I'm still like,
She's very attractive.
She's very attractive, super attractive.
She's
She's also in Taffin.
Yes,
he's the one that that Pierce Brosnan
that shouldn't be living there.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. She is the recipient of the Taffin.
Still need to watch that.
She is she's an interesting character. You know, she's got the double agent thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And
Elsa.
Yeah.
But I can reach it.
But yeah, I also, this is they make their first nod, if I remember correctly, to Raiders in this. Yeah, when they go down to the catacombs. I thought that was cool. You know,
they even have the music cue.
Yeah, it starts to get a little heavy-handed in 4, where they're like, "Remember Raiders?"
Yeah.
You know,
remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that little thing in the catacombs where she's like, "Oh, what's that?" And he's like, "It's the Holy Grail." Are you sure? Pretty sure.
Yeah, with the Ark. But yeah,
yeah.
He's pretty sure. It's I like that. He's like pretty sure. Like he doesn't go into like I fucking know because I was there.
Yeah,
it's like no, I saw that shit.
I lifted it out of the well of souls.
Yeah, with Salah, who's back. In this one as well.
So good having him back.
Oh yeah.
I like. Here's the thing. I love because Marcus in Raiders is cool. He doesn't really have much personality. Marcus in Last Crusade is like bumbling.
Oh yeah.
Marcus is like the best.
Henry, the pen. It's mightier than the sword. Yeah. But yeah, he getting lost in his own museum. You know, him almost falling off the horse at the end of the movie was hilarious. You know, the whole run, that whole thing we were alluding to with Salah. Yeah, I mean, it's great to see.
Speaking of run, remember Maurice from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes?
Maurice.
He's the ass-faced orangutan.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah, we got the new one this year. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Run.
What else is here? There's, you know...
What's your favorite set piece in the entire film? Is it the tank? Is it
the tank?
Train? Okay.
It's fucking tank. I mean, I also
not the because you have the novelization of Last Crusade where they go into detail about the Venice boat chase.
Yeah, I mean, you see a man be obliterated in the boat. More from the audiobook, what I remember. But yeah, a guy gets like dragged down and just fucking shredded. And Indy's like, they go really into like Indy's ready to fucking die, and this guy's like, "No, I'm ready to die. Are you?" And Indy's like, "No." No, but he's like, where's my dad? This and that, blah blah blah. But I like the Guardians of the Grail. I don't remember what their actual name is.
Fucked over so hard.
The guy gets fucked over in the end, and he gets lit up.
Frank Zappa.
Yeah, Frank Zappa. But the tank set piece is one of the coolest. That is them trying to do the truck scene from Raiders on steroids. Mm-hmm. Not as iconic, but a freaking great scene nonetheless. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of shit going on. Anything with tanks is cool in my opinion. And when Salah gets the camels instead of the horses, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said horses, not camels.
I said no camels. That's 5 camels. Can't you count? Compensation for my brother's car.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you would say the tank as well?
Yeah. I was thinking about it. I was like, in terms of like actual like set piece. Like I really am a big fan of the library.
The library's great. X marks the spot.
Yeah.
Because he's so adamant that X never marks the spot.
Yeah.
And he gets fucking shown up.
Confuses the hell out of librarian Einstein.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I think that's my favorite, like, location.
Yeah.
But yeah, the tank fight scene is just so well done.
I think the trial of the Grail, too, like, those different, just to switch it up,
A penitent man kneels and then rolls forward.
Yes. Yeah. His action roll.
In Latin, Jehovah starts with an I.
Yeah.
Now you'll never not know that.
In the audiobook
when I took Latin and they talked about how there was no like J per se. Mm-hmm. So like I is used in a lot of words where we have J's. And I was like, I already knew that.
Yeah, that's like this only thing I remember, and I already knew that before taking Latin. Yeah. But no, that's not true. In the audiobook, he says when he steps on J, he pulls out his leg, and there's a monster spider on it, and he like shakes it off. And I always think that because there's a moment where he picks his leg when he shakes it off in the movie. And I don't know if that's something they were going to do, or that's just him dusting, doing dust. But it always makes me that scene because he says he pulls his leg out and he feels something. He looks down, there's a huge tarantula. He's like, Jesus, and he like throws it off.
Jehovah.
Yeah, Jehovah. But yeah, no, I mean the set pieces are great. The whole the leap of faith scene is fucking awesome.
Oh my God.
Still looks great to this day.
He has to catch his breath before he does it. He's
also in the audiobook, he fucking jumps in the audiobook. Like he runs and he jumps. And they do like I'm just remembering all this now because I haven't thought about it in years, but talking about the audiobook, he doesn't just step forward and he runs and jumps. And in his mind, he's going, I'm gonna go. And then he's like, oh God, no. Because he realizes he's not gonna, there's no way. But his thing is like, oh, maybe if I think I can hard enough, I'll actually make it. And there's this moment of dread. And he just slams into the thing. He's like, oh shit, I'm fine. And then he gets up, and fucking walks across.
I could have just stepped forward.
Yeah. But yeah, no. I always thought the trials were, whatever you want to call them, pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then seeing the guy get his head cut off like right before, you're like, oh, she's like thump,
goes through the sword and everything. Yeah. I always really liked the motorcycle chase, where he does the jousting and everything. And
and he sticks the thing in the spoke, and he looks to his dad, and his dad's not laughing.
Yeah, he's winding his clock.
Yeah.
Or watch, pocket watch.
Also, the
don't have to be violent.
The airplane scene when
Sean
Connery blows off the back of the tail. I'm sorry, Sean, they got us. Which is funny because supposedly there were things put in play that can never happen.
Yeah.
But of course, for the movie, it's funny.
Just like a forward facing one is timed so that it won't shoot a propeller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the seagulls, the flock of seagulls.
Suddenly remembered my Charlemagne.
Yeah, Indiana Jones is like, what the fuck?
Well, that's the moment where you can start to first really see them kind of like come together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just such a fucking winner of a movie.
Yeah. So fun.
It is. It really is kind of taking all the because I remember we were saying last episode that the sense of fun really isn't there for a lot of Temple of Doom, and that's probably its biggest detriment. With Last Crusade, it's right there. I mean, it's a fucking, you get a train chase. It's so much like a tip to all their inspirations.
Mm-hmm.
The dog fights, the motorcycle shits. The one of my favorite lines in the movie is when like the German guy, like they're trying to get the help of the Sultan, and the German guy's just like, bring in the shits.
Yeah.
Shits.
I like no ticket.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the whole Blimp scene in general, you get to see white coat Indiana Jones. That's a very Bond thing, right?
And it's from a waiter.
Yeah, I know. But still, it's a white coat. So
and
I thought it was a cute.
Well, it's also, I also like how he's like too big for it, right?
Oh yeah, it brings back Raiders.
Yeah, clearly in the background. Also, it means he knocks the fuck out of that old man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He doesn't give a shit. And then also he was throwing what's his face out of that blimp probably to kill him, and he's like, "Oh, he happened to land on luggage. Fine."
Yeah. We haven't taken off yet. Fuck.
Yeah. Is that supposed to be the Hindenburg?
No.
Because I remember
Hindenburg goes down.
Well, that's the thing. They said that there was a blooper because they make reference of it being it, and then it the time is off. That was the thing I remember reading in one of the blooper books.
Oh, because
I mean, you would think it makes sense that it's not because clearly the years and everything, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but that was I remember reading all those Indiana Jones books back in the day, or the
it was
blooper
originally
books.
Supposed to be a Hindenburg.
I guess.
Wow.
Any fucking blimp with a swastika on it's a Hindenburg, I guess. Whatever.
Led Zeppelin.
That might not be true. Who knows? What else? Oh, the burning, when the whole fucking shit goes up. That's like one perfect shot where Indy and
his dad.
They're sitting there and
what?
Dad,
yeah.
Dad.
So,
Dad, they're coming back.
Maybe I'm thinking about the scene in The Rocketeer. No, that shit goes down too. Never mind. Okay. I got Nazi blimps on the brain.
So there's a lot of them about.
Is
the Hindenburg Nazi? I don't think it is. I mean, it's got a German name.
Yeah, are you serious with is the Hindenburg Nazi?
Yeah.
I don't know the timeline of the Hindenburg. I just know that it went down.
It is, yes.
It is.
What else? I'm trying to remember, racking my brain for Last Crusade. I mean, you get the immortal, he chose poorly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's just so much good shit. I mean, I can't. What is your favorite joke in the entire thing? Is it like Adolf Hitler autographing the journal?
I mean, no, but why does Indiana Jones smile afterwards?
Well, it means he got away. He smiles because he got away with it.
I guess,
not,
but
not so much that.
I know that, and I know, but like the smirk of it is just, that was always just fucking weird. That he's just like, huh, ha, ha. What else? Fuck my ass. What else? Tenacious D. I can't take credit for that. I mean, this is how we say goodbye in Germany. This is how we say goodbye in Austria. That whole fucking shit was pretty funny.
I like the Austrian way better.
Yeah. It's implied that Sean Connery banged Elsa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's not even an implication. In fact, the line "she talks in her sleep" was improvised by Sean Connery, and everybody on set liked it so much. They're like, because originally he's supposed to reveal it while they're having their heart-to-heart on the blimp, while they're having their drinks on the blimp. That's when he's like, "I totally fucked your companion," but however he would say it.
Yeah.
But no, the Sean Connery improvised that line, and everyone loved it so much they were just like, "Okay,
nice.
That's where it should happen."
Nice. Of course, the shot of the knight, like, thanks for ruining my shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to spend another 700 years fixing this.
Bye. That whole granted of internal life thing.
Yes.
That I like the shot of them pouring on the wound. That was just a cool it melts.
The baking soda.
He's like, oh
yeah. That was something that I always hoped that would be how they would explain or bring Sean Connery into a fourth one so far into the future.
I always took
it prolonged his life.
The thing, as long as you didn't pass the seal, you're good. That's what I always took as the knight. He's old as shit, but like I would always think that like passing that seal.
But his two brothers returned to France in extreme old age.
Okay, they drank from the Grail.
I presume because they were a century later, according to Donovan.
Okay. So it's just prolongs your life. So it's bullshit.
Well, you get immortality if you stay in the thing.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, staying in, but you don't pass the seal.
Yeah.
Which is why those guys died, because they passed the seal.
Yeah. And that's why
what's his face
presumably
is still alive.
Sean Connery will die.
Oh yeah, I never thought it would give him immortality per se, but I thought it would.
But it definitely healed his wound.
No, it heals his wound. Yeah, I'm saying for some reason as a kid with the knight, I thought that if like they wouldn't stay, like Indiana Jones and his dad wouldn't stay in there, but if they didn't pass the seal, they'd fucking live for like centuries, basically. Yeah. Once you pass the seal, it's like you're done. You broke the seal.
Yeah.
Don't come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is Elsa didn't actually believe in the power of the Grail.
Yeah. She fucking goes out. That's cool. It's such a great little like fucking like 1930s death too, like where it's just smoke. Yeah. And it clearly falls like a trampoline or some like your screams classic.
On luggage.
Yeah.
Everybody dies like that in the 80s and 90s. Like Big Boy Caprice dies that.
Oh! It happened in
Gaston.
Superman 2.
Yeah. Superman 2 to like all the Krypton.
The worst, and this is the early 90s, is in Cliffhanger where the guy falls and you see him land on the fucking pad. Why didn't they cut earlier? Like, it always bugs me. I mean, granted, that movie's garbage after the opening act, but
directed by Rennie Harlan, same guy that directed Dream Warriors and Die Hard 2.
Yeah, it's a garbage movie, except for that opening. Never has a movie fallen
Rennie
that
Harlan
quick.
Directed the fourth one. He directed Dream Master, which has some cool visual stuff. What did I say about this about slasher movies?
Yeah,
yeah. For me, like the two most heartfelt scenes are after Indy survives the tank.
Mm-hmm.
And that, if we're talking about people going out hard, Nazi on tank.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He dies and then gets rolled over by the turret.
And beforehand, like, first off, I thought he was stabbing Indiana Jones. Like, because remember, he's, like, using the whip to save his dad from going over the treads.
Uh-huh.
And so you see him come up behind him and, like, I presume kidney punch him, but the way it looks like he's stabbing him.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I never thought about stabbing with it. I mean, I can clearly see why you would think that.
It was something that always kind of was like, when I still first watched him, like, that's an awkward, like, that's like a stick punch. But, like, he's got, like, fucking a shiv. But he does not, as far as I know. But and then he gets fucking his head bashed repeatedly into this fucking steel tank.
Yeah.
To the point where he's, like, all bruised.
He's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
Like, he is busted up.
Yeah. Has, like, no teeth anymore.
Yeah. And he just do the classic flying into his mouth thing.
Death.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I always loved that. I thought I lost you, boy. Just though you can tell that scene was filmed quite a bit later because watch that entire film, see how immaculately groomed Sean Connery's beard is, and then look at that sequence. That's a pretty full fucking beard. Like that was.
Yeah.
Like whoever the continuity person on set was like, maybe we should have Sean, who's probably like, fuck off.
Yeah.
I have to go film The Hunt for Red October.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh.
Scotland forever.
Yeah. At that point, he's an Academy Award winner too, right?
Because of Untouchables?
Untouchables is 87.
Was it 87? He's got one of the... Talk about death scenes. That's one of the most just over the top.
Yeah. What are you prepared to do?
And he's just like... Kevin Costner's like talking to him like he's a baby. He's like, what do you want this? He's like, no! He's just like grabbing all the blood and stuck to him. He's like, oh, get the fuck out of here. He's so fucking angry.
Yeah.
I remember coming across that scene because when I was a kid, when I watched... It's weird. This is like the trajectory of my love for the Indiana Jones movies. When I started watching Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford was my hero. When I got to The Last Crusade, Sean Connery was my hero because I had fallen in love with James Bond. And so I'm watching that and I'm like, yeah, Indiana Jones is cool, but Sean Connery's in this? That's really fucking cool. And then I flipping through the channels one day and The Untouchables was on, and it was right at the scene where he comes out, he's like, I'll never bring out guns or knife fight. And he gets fucking lit up. Yeah. And you see my hero just squibs flying everywhere. And this was back when I was young, where like, if the main character died, like, or if my favorite character died, it fucking ruined the movie for me. So I was like, fuck this shit. And then, of course, watch like The Man Who Would Be King, which is another classic with Sean Connery, and he fucking goes out in that one too. And
yeah, it's always weird watching your heroes die.
Yeah, I mean, now it's like, I don't like it, but it makes the movie like, if it's done well, it's so much more tragic, and it's just a great kind of, fucking bullshit to it, or whatever you want. It's a gravitas crap.
Those films, Robin and Marion, he dies. Zardoz, he turns into a skeleton.
I never bothered with that shit.
Want to borrow my Laserdisc?
No, that picture's enough.
What other fucking things? I mean, I guess he dies in Finding Forrester. Punch the keys, for God's sakes! Yeah. You're the man now, dog.
You guys remember that website?
Of course. Oh yeah. So many. That for me was like what made GIFs real.
Yeah.
All set to like Rammstein and stuff. But the the other scene, and it's like, I think I mentioned this on an earlier episode, it's like the most calming scene where after like, Dad, I can reach it. I can he's touching it and everything. It's just Indiana. Let it go. Yeah. Let it go, son.
Yeah, the fucking everything stops. Yeah. You mean you don't hear shit anymore. Yeah. Everything just goes on pause. Yeah. And Indiana Jones has the moment where he's like, oh yeah, I just saw someone try this and die.
Yeah. And it's the only time in the entire film where he refers to him as Indiana.
Yeah. He's like, I'll fucking humor this piece of shit. It's you were named after the dog, and he was,
which you see in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, and in real life, and in I'm assuming that was Lucas's dog.
Yeah, it was.
I don't
the Alaskan Malamute.
Yeah. Which is the inspiration for Chewbacca as well, the greatest dog in the history of dogs. Because George Lucas was driving somewhere, and his dog was sitting in the passenger seat, and he went, space dog. I love Mark Hamill on
Han Solo.
Yeah. Mark Hamill was talking about on the Nerdist podcast, where he was talking about he was in the audience for the first time they played the trailer for U.S. audiences, the teaser, and there's no music, it's all heartbeat, boom, 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 in space. And then they didn't have everything finished, so they cut to a shot of Chewbacca roaring, and they're like, and Mark Hamill's like, the audience is probably thinking, there is a dog man with headphones on. What are we doing here? Anyway, but I was actually I guess it still follows under the Lucas family thing. So
it's a Lucasfilm property.
Yeah, so, but do you remember all the teaser trailers for Star Wars? Like the basic thing?
Yeah.
The only good thing...
because I saw them all at San Diego like 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah. The best part...
And they kept inserting them in me at the Star Wars
convention.
That's
right. Yeah. Mr. Nolan. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that?
Your 7 o'clock appointment, Mr. Nolan.
For a half hour on our recap episode, or my recap episode, I guess. It was just, Mr. Nolan, your 7 o'clock inserting of the trailer.
Yeah.
Here's your warm towel to mop up all that semen.
Yeah. Mr. Nolan. No, but they the teaser trailer for episode 1, fine, whatever, because shit. The best thing that come out of episode 2 is the teaser trailer. Now, the sound effect is misplaced because it's the whole sound of the trailer is Darth Vader breathing.
Yeah.
And it just cuts like a shot of boom, clone army. Boom. And it's not showing you the terrible acting or dialogue. Boom. It's really done really well. Episode 3 trailer is really great too, which they bring back the Darth Vader breathing, which makes a lot of sense. But it's cut with Obi-Wan telling Luke about the Jedi Knights, and that's done really well. The original trailer The original trilogy teasers are, just whatever.
Well, it's
they're like
Revenge of the Jedi.
Well, they're just like Han Solo, Chewbacca, Darth Vader, and he just turns, bum, bum,
It was a product of its time.
Yeah.
But I will
They
say,
didn't have a lot of creative trailers back
the
then.
prequel trailer teasers were pretty dang cool. Watching those.
Yeah.
I don't remember the Indiana Jones trailers that much. For some reason, I remember trailers really well. I don't remember the Indiana Jones trailers.
Well, most of them happened before you were born.
Well, I mean, watching them,
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them. They're okay.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah, they're along the same realm of the original.
Everything
trilogy.
you hated about Temple of Doom is gone. Everything you loved about Raiders of the Lost Ark is back.
Like I remember in
1989, it's coming. That's probably fucking Temple. Yeah.
Well, and I remember with the big line, the big like gotcha line from the Last Crusade trailer is when Sean Connery pops out of the tank. He's like, "You call this archaeology?" It's like keeping up with the Joneses, because that was the big tagline for Last Crusade.
That's oh god, maybe it's good. I don't remember that.
Whereas the big moment, before the release date moment in the Temple of Doom trailer is the two guys show up with the swords and he goes for his gun, like we were talking about in the last episode, and he he realizes he doesn't have it and smiles at them.
Yeah. I'm gonna kill you.
Remember when I did this?
I'm gonna fucking murder you.
Remember when I did this several years from now?
Yeah. And he's just like, oh yeah, dysentery. I'm gonna fucking kill you.
And apparently he got he didn't get as badly fucked on this one as he did the first two, but I'm sure he took some.
Remember when he gets his face pressed against the tread of the tank and it just shreds the side of his face?
Or when he gets run along and he's doing a lot of those stunts where he's getting run along the fucking rock wall.
It always, again, for some reason, Indiana Jones, I just latched on to bloopers and scenes and stuff. When he falls onto the side of the gun. Yeah. How does his satchel
not break?
Get caught?
Oh, get caught on there?
I mean, it's clearly a blooper, but it's always kind of funny. But I do like when he just shoves the rock into the gun. Yeah. He's like, "You're gonna fucking die." That would have killed everyone in the tank. That would have killed every single person in the tank. Again, they're not going for fucking reality. Man ages to death in this, but I was like, he pats the rock like, murder, more murder, because Indiana Jones loves murder.
Oh, dude, he kills 3 dudes with a single bullet.
They're like, oh, dude, you're an archaeologist who finds treasures. He's like, yeah, that's it. Yeah. I'm not a fucking teacher, and at nighttime I become a fucking serial killer. That's Indiana Jones. At nighttime he just becomes a serial killer.
Yeah, he kills lots of people.
Because
for archaeology.
No, well, that's the umbrella lie that he tells himself, because he sees that bad man at the beginning of the movie and he's like, I will be this bad man and be able to kill for
Father.
money.
Yes, Father, I will be a bad man.
He kills for money. I feel like in Last Crusade he kills more people than he does in any other.
He kills 4 people with one shot of a gun,
and he's clearly confused.
He's like, I should have had this earlier because I've been to murder way more people. His dad survives the tank with Marcus after he puts the rock. He's like, fuck. Yeah. That would have been 2 more to add to the list. And then we'll talk about it in 4, obviously, but they have the whole the fucking World War II. He goes on secret missions and fucking kills more Nazis.
I'm trying to think who he goes the most out of the way to. I mean, when he reunites with his father, he immediately follows up by machine gunning 3 men.
Yeah, I told you.
And look what you did. That's an honest reaction. You just watched your son machine gun.
I know, Dad. It was like, okay, my son is a murderer. Now, who does murder machine? Who does he go out of the way the most to fucking murder? Let's go back to Raiders. Raiders is clearly Swordman. Yeah. He goes out of his way just, I don't want to fucking...
Yeah, that or when he runs over Crocodile Dundee in the truck.
And smiles about it.
Yeah.
Because he fucking loves murdering. 2... I mean...
He doesn't...
He does, again, he doesn't go out of his way, but he does throw those guys down the abyss.
Yeah.
Oh, he also punches that guy that goes flying over the crank.
Yeah, but he survives, as far as we know. He just gets fucked.
I mean, his sternum. I mean, granted, you were acting like this is real, but he'd be fucking. I mean, he would be dead. He's probably like, fuck. He's still alive.
His ribs are probably broken.
Yeah, he's like, why is he still alive? I wanted to fucking see him die.
taste his screams.
Yeah. Fucking scream for me. He's like, India, we gotta go. Fucking, he gets really close to his face. Scream for me, you fucking bitch. Yeah, I mean, he kills very, very much so. But who? Oh, it's the fucking motorcycle guys with the spoke.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, he's about to machine gun him though.
Yeah, but he does it with glee.
That's
like
true.
he's like,
which is why his father doesn't look impressed.
Yeah, because he's like, son, I've seen you murder a couple people now, and you're happy about it.
Yeah, we've been together for maybe like 2-3 hours, and you've killed like about a dozen people.
Like he could have like run him off the road or like shot him, but by sticking the flagpole into the spoke, they explode and die spectacularly. They go flying like 30 feet in the air. Like it's a great, like Sam was saying, it's a great stunt, great visual, and I do like that him smiling like, hey, aren't we having fun, Dad? His dad's like, no, I'm an actual archaeologist. Yeah. I'm not a side murderer.
Yeah, a side.
I don't murder on the side. Like my resume is murder. Sorry, Dr. Jones isn't in to study and do open door hours because he's killing people.
Out killing, be back soon.
Yeah,
he has his secretary leave the message for that.
Yeah, he's Dr. Jones is murdering. He's murdering more people.
Yeah,
but they're bad. They're bad. Okay,
he lets all those people.
Nazis.
He lets all those people die in like the fire. Remember, they get stuck on the other
Of
side.
the and he puts the Adolf bust right there, right?
Yeah, he's just like, you're
here's
just...
your God. God, I feel so alive.
All I have to do is squeeze.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah. All I have to do is squeeze. That's right.
That might as well be his like mantra.
Oh yeah.
Like all I have to do is
She's like, all I have to do is scream. And he's like, that's a line. Yeah, that's fucking out of there. Out of its goddamn mind.
So I think with this episode we've settled it. Indiana Jones.
Murderer.
Murder machine.
Murder machine. Granted, we're saying it like he's not killing good people. Yeah. You know, obviously he's killing Nazis and he hates these guys, as one of the great lines from this movie. Which is like the snakes, why did it have to be snakes line? But yeah, he kills a lot of bad people in this. Sometimes he goes out of his way to like make sure they're dead. Yeah. Sometimes he shoves a rock into a side gun of a tank.
He pats it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like good rock. He just he shoves it in. He's like and rides off like, and then he like trails him on like, go ahead, shoot me, shoot. Like,
what happens.
It's like the Dance to the Wolf scene where like Kevin Costner like rides out like, fucking kill me, and he has his arms up, dun, 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 and the guy's like, oh, I'm gonna fucking kill this, boom, and then he's dead, just horribly dead.
Credits.
But yeah. it is the great. I mean, it ends perfectly, and it's great.
Unfortunately, there's more to come, which we'll.
I wish they would do comics again. Indiana Jones comics.
Yeah, I mean, Marvel has the license.
Yeah, I mean, Dark Horse. I've never really read Indiana Jones comics. I've read. I have a bunch of books they've done, like just novelizations of Indiana Jones through the years, doing crazy things. I've played. Aside from the NES games or SNES games we're talking about, I've played the Fate of Atlantis, which is one of the greatest games of all time.
Infernal Machine?
The Infernal Machine, beat that. Desktop Adventures. There was another one on N64 I beat.
Yeah, it's like Jade something.
Something like that. That was great too. That actually, I think that ends, and it's the beginning of Temple of Doom is the end of it.
Nice.
So, because I think it's 35 around there. I've always enjoyed the Indiana Jones games. Like, they're difficult. The one they did for Xbox, I think, was the Infernal Machine.
Yeah.
I remember AVGN, or they did James Rolfe and them did like they were playing and they hated it. Maybe I was just stubborn and such an Indiana Jones fan. I was like, I will make this good. But I love the Infernal Machine. It's a really creepy game. You get every great element of Indiana Jones. You get the jacket, you get the kind of the rolled up sleeve stuff, and if you get hit hard enough, your hat falls off. You have to pick it up, which is kind of funny. It's not like ridiculous that every time you get hit, but if you allow yourself to get your ass kicked and like knocked down, after a combo, it'll fall down and it'll be like hat, and you pick it up. There's puzzles in there. Your revolver is unlimited ammo, and you have your whip, but you could pick up, machine guns. It has the cover system. It's in all different artifacts in your room. It's a fun game. It's probably my favorite Indiana Jones game, even over the Fate of Atlantis, which is a great click.
Oh, I love that.
It's such a classic.
Fucking love that.
Well, I remember
the Sucker Punch.
The Sucker Punch. That's it. That's all you need to know is the Sucker Punch. I beat the game with just the Sucker Punch. But that's one of the few games I sat and watched when we were out at John's once, and I just put it up on YouTube and watched someone play it because I still have the disc, but I need to get it on Steam or whatever because I love that game. Just really well done. Indiana Jones does some really great games. I hope they down the line to do something with them again. They're doing with all Star Wars, man. Like expand Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I hope. I think they're being very careful, but I'm sure as the film gets closer, we'll probably see a bigger push.
Yeah, I'd rather have comics.
Yeah.
But,
Soon,
of course, we'll all be there for the movie if and when it comes out.
Chris, you got anything to add before we sign off on the Last Crusade?
No, I think we've
before we ride off into the sunset.
Yeah. Only to return for some shit.
Let's take these camels and
these 5 camels for the 3 of us because Sala can't count. And
can't tell the difference between 0 and 5.
Well, this has been another installment of Geek Out to be determined. I'm glad you've determined to listen to us.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
Oh,
that was clever.
Was it though?
We're helping you. We're guiding you along and making it sound good, Sam. Go with it, please.
Well,
we're yes-anding you.
Yes.
I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
Bye. This has been another Geek Out production. If you enjoyed what you heard, hey, we've got a special episode every Friday. Of course, there's the usual catching up show every Wednesday. And you get book club episodes just about every Tuesday these days. Thanks for listening.